Convocation is now in session. As Chancellor, before we proceed with the ceremony, I'd like to call upon Professor Margaret Kello to present Western University's land acknowledgement.
Western University is situated on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Lenape, and Attawandaron peoples, who have long-standing relationships to the region of southwestern Ontario and the City of London. In close proximity to Western, there are 3 local First Nations communities: the Chippewas of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and the Munsee Delaware Nation. In the region of southwestern Ontario, there are 11 First Nations and a growing Indigenous urban population. Western recognizes the significant historical and contemporary contributions of local and regional First Nations and all of the original peoples of Turtle Island, North America, to the development of Canada. Miigwech.
To all our graduates, first let me say congratulations. You've worked hard to achieve this. Graduation represents a major milestone in your lives. At Convocation, we assemble as a university community to celebrate and recognize your achievements at Western and to wish you every success for the future. Your learning days are far from over. Learning is a lifelong process. Western has not provided you with answers to all questions. At most, we hope that what stays with you is a way of thinking objectively, approaching problems with an open mind, and a healthy respect for new ideas, all tempered with compassion and empathy for the human condition. You are forever a cherished member of this great university. Founded 140 years ago, we welcome you into the Western family. And again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Today, we also confer an honorary degree upon Aubrey Dan, in acknowledgement of his outstanding career and as an accomplished business leader, and for his support of the arts, education, and healthcare. As a Western alumnus, he is an inspirational role model for Western students and alumni. To present our distinguished candidate, I now call upon Dr. Mitch, Ruston, Faculty of Social Science.
Mr. Chancellor, colleagues, honored guests, and of course our graduates. Aubrey Dan. It's my honor today to introduce Aubrey Dan, who has distinguished himself as an outstanding Canadian business leader, entrepreneur, impresario, patron of the arts, and philanthropist. Born in Toronto, Aubrey graduated from Western with a Bachelor of Administrative and Commercial Studies in 1985. He started his business career in the pharmaceutical industry as a sales representative at Nova Pharm and was soon promoted to the Director of Sales. In 1995, he became president of Wampole Canada, a leading pharmaceutical company specializing in herbal supplements and vitamins. Today, Aubrey is president of the DanCap Group of Companies, which includes DanCap Private Equity and DanCap Global Asset Management. These investment firms have supported dozens and dozens of Canadian businesses, both entrepreneurial startups and turnaround companies. Through these firms, and with his broad business knowledge, personal experience, and leadership, Aubrey has contributed substantially to the health of the Canadian business community. In 2007, Aubrey combined his business acumen and love of the theater to launch DanCap Productions. In his irrepressible entrepreneurial spirit, Aubrey set out to disrupt the monopoly of live theater in Toronto. He produced, co-produced, and/or invested in numerous theatrical successes and revivals, including The Drowsy Chaperone, My Fair Lady, Anne of Green Gables, South Pacific, the smash hit Jersey Boys, seen by more than 1.2 million people, and the Tony Award-winning Memphis. Aubrey's deep commitment to give back to his community has been a prominent characteristic of his life and career. Aubrey, together with his wife, Marla, have donated well over $30 million to education, healthcare, women, and children. In all of their gifts, their strategy has been to make a real difference to the institutions and the people they serve. Aubrey's generous gifts to Western are a prime example. In 2006, he made a gift of $5 million in support of the Administrative and Commercial Studies program, which is now the Dan Department of Management and Organizational Studies. The endowed gift established a professorship, supported faculty fellowships, created a faculty research fund, and to date has provided more than 270 scholarships to Dan management students in recognition of their achievements. This gift was a game changer, providing a really substantial difference to faculty and students by enabling the program to develop and obtain full departmental status and attract top quality students and faculty. In the following decade, the department grew to almost 3,000 students, almost half of the total of the Faculty of Social Sciences, and one of the two largest departments at Western. In 2017, Aubrey made a second unprecedented gift of $5 million to Dan Management, once again, to support the continued growth and development of this department. This gift endows 3 research chairs and 2 distinguished lecture series, which will enable the department to strengthen its academic and research excellence as the premier social science-based management program in Canada, and will further elevate the department and Western onto the global stage. In addition to the generous support of Western, Aubrey and Marla have made significant gifts, again, to make a real difference to families, healthcare, and education. They have donated $5 million to the Baycrest Center for Geriatric Care and $8 million to the Center for Women and Babies at Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center. In 2016, they donated $5 million to the School of Drama and Music at Queen's University and $5 million to Tel Aviv University's Department of Communications. Aubrey and Marla have also generously supported the Hadassah Children Healthcare Women Organization, which supports projects in daycare centers, schools, youth clubs, hospitals, shelters, and parental hotlines in Canada and Israel, as well as the Judy Dan Research and Treatment Center at North York General Hospital. These charitable gifts and many others, too numerous to mention here, demonstrate an extraordinary commitment to helping people. Aubrey's support of the Dan Department of Management and Organizational Studies and the university goes beyond his generous donations. He is genuinely interested in the development of the department and its students' welfare. He's a member of the department's advisory council and visits campus regularly to attend the department's various ceremonies and student events. He engages our students and gives freely of his time to provide them with advice and encouragement. In summary, Aubrey is an outstanding Canadian business leader, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and engaged alumnus who has made a real difference to Western and given back to his community in so many ways. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and in the name of the Senate, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Aubrey Dan.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations, Dr. Dan.
Daughter.
On behalf of all assembled here today, should now like to invite our newest alumnus, Dr. Aubrey Dan, to address Convocation.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored graduates, guests, and colleagues on this distinguished platform. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge and thank my wife, Marla, my daughter, Elise, my son, Miles, as well as some of my longtime friends that are joining me today. I am humbled and honored to have been selected to receive the Honorary Doctorate of Laws degree on this stage with so many friends that I admire and respect. The Chancellor would be Jack Cowan, the President, Amit Chakma, the Dean of Social Sciences, Bob Anderson, and the former Director of the Dan Department of Management and Organization. Now, I've never attended my undergraduate ceremony. When I completed my Bachelor of Administrative and Commercial Studies in 1985, I was too much in a hurry to get to work and apply my education working in my family's business, Novofarm, a generic pharmaceutical company, as a sales rep. It seems I've always been in a hurry all my life, trying to accomplish as much as I could, even as a child. And still to this day, I have a sense of urgency of maximizing my impact in a positive manner. My life's ambition is to help people find their own human potential. Western was not my first choice when I selected universities back in high school. I chose to go to McMaster as I thought getting a commerce degree was more important. However, after my first year, I found that the university wasn't really a good fit for me. My friends were going to Western, and I enrolled in a relatively new program called Administrative and Commercial Studies, ACS, in the Faculty of Social Sciences, with about a couple hundred students, not 3,000. Now, I really liked that the ACS was in the social sciences, focusing on the people side of the business. Besides, according to Playboy magazine, at that time, the women are among the best in North America. And obviously, they still are. I really wasn't concerned about academics. I just wanted to get a degree in business that I could apply in real life to help me pursue my desire to get an education. Going to Western turned out to be the best choice I ever made in my life, even though it was only for 2 years. Long before Western coined the phrase, the Western experience, for its students today, it was my approach going to university in the early 80s. I learned in my economics class the diminishing rate of marginal return, where I could shoot for my marks to be about a 70% average, good enough to do well, yet still enough time to work part-time and enjoy all the wonder facilities on and off campus. I actually did the math and knew that if I tried to raise my marks by 10%, it would take at least 30% more effort and time. That 10% sacrifice in marks was used towards my university education. I also knew that if I decided to pursue my MBA, the opportunity cost was over $100,000 at that time. I knew that I would rather work in my family business or be an entrepreneur and make more money. So that's what I did. I went to work right after completing my undergrad and never looked back. I attended one homecoming after graduation. Occasionally, I would go to London to meet with customers, especially at the head office of big fee pharmacies, having nothing to do with Western, as I moved onwards with my life. Years later, in around 2004, I received an email that the president of Western, so Paul Davenport, and Ted Gerard, the vice president of external affairs, wanted to meet with me and my office. Now, I wasn't on the radar or even approached from the alumni as a potential donor, so I never donated to the university. Paul and Ted wanted to know if I would make a $100,000 donation towards a chair, which I agreed to do. Since I had a positive experience at Western, I thought it was a really nice thing to donate and give back. They gave me an update on the program of how the ACS program had grown to 1,800 students, and there were several new specialty modules. Now it represented 30% of the Faculty of Social Sciences, and frankly, I was quite impressed with how the program had grown so much since I graduated. Then they asked one question that completely changed my relationship from that moment onwards, and still to this day. My question was, why don't you change the name of the program from Administrative and Commercial Studies to Management and Management and Organizational Studies? Administrative sounded so secretarial, and commercial was only relevant to me when used for real estate. The response by Paul was that he wasn't sure if the university would accept the name change due to the potential conflict with the Richard Ivey School of Business. Now, it took me almost 2 years to convince Paul to make the name change along with a negotiated agreement in February 2006 of a $5 million donation, putting my money where my mouth was, making the change to rename it. It originally was called the Aubrey Dan Program of Management and Organization and has changed several times to MOS, BMOS. So all of a sudden, I went from a speed of 0 to 100 miles an hour with my involvement with Western. As I saw this as an investment, that my name was on it, and I was going to make sure that the return on investment, ROI, was going to pay off in spades. Not in a monetary manner, but on its impact on the students, faculty, and university. I believed the more one gave, the more one received. You ask, why would I make such a large gift? My biggest ever at that time. I regularly use the skill sets that I learned in ACS every day that helped shape my success. I learned that it didn't matter what business or organization that I was involved in, that the most important aspect was people and communications. I believe that if my endowment gift would be successful, I personally would need to have input into how it was managed and executed, as it would become the jet fuel to help propel it to the next level. It became the gift that kept on giving. Most importantly, it was the investment that would help create the future leaders of Canada and internationally. So over the past 12 years, I've had the pleasure to meet thousands of students who have graduated what is now the Dan Department of Management and Organizational Studies. I've handed out hundreds of scholarship awards to the top students, met with faculty, and got to know all the levels of the university administration. That is a dream come true. I've been welcomed with open arms, especially when I would challenge the status quo on how the department could be better, making the Western experience even greater, strengthening the Dan and Western brand globally. Now the Dan department has more than 3,000 students and still growing. It represents a little more than 50% of the social sciences, 10% of all the undergraduates at the university. Half the students from Hong Kong take Dan management. The growth and the engagement level has been amazing. There are courses now being taught in Hong Kong and the Netherlands. The success of the students that graduate from Dan management is having a positive impact in many organizations, as their skill sets that they have learned are considered to be valuable in the areas of finance, accounting, human resources, marketing, and commercial aviation. I am so proud of their accomplishments. This past December 2017, I doubled down my investment with another $5 million endowment gift for more than $10 million in total to create 3 new research chairs. It was Bob Anderson, the Dean of Social Sciences, who helped me to appreciate how an investment into research would have a global impact on the standings for Western. The first research chair is a joint chair with the Faculty of Law and Corporate Governance. The second is for consumer behavior. And the third, the last chair, is for innovation and change. There's also a distinguished lecture series where most recently Dick Pound from the IOC was the first guest lecturer. What I wanted in exchange was a new module called Management and Legal Studies, which was overwhelmingly accepted, that will officially start in September 2019. If I were to take my education over again, I would take this module. I've spent far too much tuition with various lawyers over the years, and having this background and knowledge and understanding in business would have made negotiation deals easier. So, I am so excited about the future of the Dan department, as together we have so much more to accomplish in the years to come. We've just begun to scratch the surface. So what are the major takeaways from my speech? What did I learn from my Western experience? Never forget where you came from and pay it forward to the person coming behind you. Change is welcome as long as it's thoughtful and benefits the organization as a whole, not for one selfish purpose. Have a vision and live that vision. Challenge the status quo. Find a better way. Put your money where your mouth is. Don't talk, do. Life is long. So if change doesn't happen immediately, be patient. But keep at it and don't stop, ever. Work smart, not hard, just because it sounds good. By helping others to grow, you help yourself grow too. Don't be shy. Ask a lot of questions, seeking the best answers. Believe in your ability to make a difference. Even if it's small, it may have a ripple effect. Commit, and then commit even more when you're making a positive change for others. So in conclusion, there are so many people that I want to thank at Western, as I truly value my relationships, past, present, and future. Anthony D'Angelo said, "Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aubrey, for your thoughtful address and sharing your thought process, giving us a little bit of insight as to how you arrived at the decision of supporting our wonderful program. As a business leader, producer, and impresario, you're an inspiration to your fellow alumni and students here at Western. You're also a leading Canadian philanthropist who has made significant investments in education and healthcare at various institutions, including Western's own Faculty of Social Science. Distinguished guests, please join me in congratulating Western's newest Honorary Doctor of Laws, Dr. Aubrey Dan. Mr. Chancellor, with your permission, I'll digress a little bit. I want to let our newest Honorary Doctor of Laws, Dr. Dan, know that you are joining a distinguished group of Western's Honorary Doctor of Laws graduates, which includes, among many others, the Honorable Bill Davis, the distinguished former Premier of Ontario, whom we fondly call the Education Premier. I'm delighted that Premier Davis is attending today's convocation and he's with us today. So here's the digression, distinguished guest. Premier Davis is a strong supporter of Western and considers Western to be his family's school. And in fact, One of his grandchildren is graduating today. Mr. Chancellor, there's only one misgiving Premier Davis has about Western, which is related to football. He attended University of Toronto and played for the varsity team. Many of you know that our distinguished Chancellor played for the Mustangs, that is Western Mustangs. So Premier Davis recalls that Western Mustangs had not always been kind to him. That is when he played for the varsity. So what a wonderful occasion to have Premier Davis with us. So candidates, you can see that you're joining a very proud tradition of a number of distinguished individuals who came before us. So now it's time for us to give you your degrees and diplomas that you had earned through your hard work. So with that, will all the candidates for degrees, diplomas, and certificates please rise? Mr. Chancellor, I'm very much honored to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed their academic programs at Western. I ask you to admit them to the degrees, diplomas, and certificates for which they have been recommended by the Senate of our university.
Under the authority vested in me by the Senate, you'll be admitted to the degrees, diplomas, and certificates as shall be announced by the public orators.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. Would the candidates please be seated now? Mr. Chancellor, graduating students, colleagues, distinguished guests, Convocation is the single most time of celebration in the life of this university. Today we honor those students who are graduating because of their determination, hard work, and intelligence. And with all of those, they have met demanding standards of a Western degree. Today is also a proud day for all of us associated with Western, including our Board of Governors and Senate, our faculty, our staff, and our friends in the community. It is wonderful to see so many members of our community of learning who have taken the time to be with us this afternoon to celebrate this important day in the lives of our graduates and the life of the university. Graduates, today, those of you crossing this stage join a special group known as Western Alumni that numbers more than 300,000 alumni and growing, living in 150 different countries around the world. We are pleased to have Ms. Sandra Davis-Bear representing our Alumni Association with us this afternoon, and I'd ask her to please stand and be recognized. Western's Board of Governors is charged with responsibility for the overall governance of this institution. Today we have with us Mr. Douglas Keddy, representing our Board of Governors, and I'll ask him to please stand and be recognized. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the parents, spouses, partners, children, relatives, and friends of our graduates who are here today. This ceremony simply would not have been possible without your loving support. Now I ask our graduating class to rise once again, turn around, face your family and friends, and give them a warm round of applause for supporting your journey. Now let me congratulate once again the remarkable students who graduate today with Western degrees. Today you become partners in the outstanding achievements of the University of Western Ontario. My warmest wishes to each and every one of you. We're now going to proceed with the granting of the degrees. Before we do so, I have two special requests for those of you in the audience. First, as a courtesy to our graduates and their families, please hold your applause and any other special forms of expression of joy until the public orators signal when the applause is appropriate throughout the ceremony. So this will ensure that each graduate's name will be heard. Each graduate is special to us, so is the ceremony. We want the ceremony to proceed smoothly, and we request your help. So the way it's going to proceed is that we're going to grant degrees to 3 students at a time. So they'll come through the stage, and when a class has gone through, our public auditors, to my left, to your right, will signal and will lead us in our appreciation, our celebration, if you will. Please join us then. Second, we know photographs are important for graduates, their families and friends. As you heard before this ceremony began, we are going to provide each graduate with a photograph of this special occasion. So we ask that you remain in your seats throughout the ceremony. Of course, feel free to take pictures from there. I now call on the public auditors to introduce our candidates.
Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates from the Faculty of Arts and Humanities for the degree Bachelor of Arts Honors Program. Jennifer Leanne Burkle, Selena Biffus, Sydney Lauren Delisle Bruman, Emma Mirta Laila Cuneo, Kaylin Alexandra Hubert, Sarah Marie Patricia Kimber. Aileen Eleanor McQueen, Christiane Victoria Ritter, Tracy Rutledge Rodriguez. Sarah Jane Shepard, Nicholas Anthony Sokich, Jamie Ray Stoneman. William Viet Hung Tran, Christina Marie Van Dam, Coral White. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts 4-year program. Brooke Mackenzie Gosden, Emily Rachel Lowes Eade, Cameron Alexander Maltainer, Rachel Eileen McGuire, Jack O'Neill, Lauren Russell. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts: Rebecca Brown, Jeffrey Michael Goff, Pierre Luigi Montoya Valdez, Jocelyn Murray, Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the Diplôme de Français Pratique: Donald James McKinnon, Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates from the Faculty of Social Science for the degree Bachelor of Arts Honors Program: Fatima Majid Abdullah Jabbar, Zaid Osama Atarbashi, Robin Budovich.
Hemis Chung, Abigail Naomi Davis, Holly K. Einhorn. Olivia Madison Hartley, Ryan Joseph Mello, Amanda Lee McNev. Ola Veronica Oshevsky, Marie Angelico Ostia, Sarah Rickwood. John Graham Scott, Megan Seligman, Alexander Masih Shah. Allison Francis Sims, Felicia Stakakis, Kyla Yasmin Tavziza. Stephen Trim, Rui Wang, Alicia Jean Wetlaufer. Nathaniel White. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Management and Organizational Studies Honors Program. Mohammed Abrar Abdul Hanan, Omar Al-Ahmadi, Gordon Cameron Bell. Pavan Chadari, Alice Chianchun Chen, Valerie Ling Yan Cheng. Ji Dong, Jillian Greer Hope, Kaylee Kavanaugh. Patrick Magui, Maggie Mary Kathleen Moore, Sarah Catherine Nagus. Parth Patel, Laura Ann Pinter, Justin Ian Poe. Lauren Ann Scott, Erica Carla Shepard, Abigail Lena Wilson. Xiao Zhang. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science Honors Programs. Robert John Selleck, Vivian Hun, Jasmine Wei Lin Lee, Suvin Chongman Tam, Kyle Yunqian Tan. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts, four-year program. Anna Barbara Bajorek, Qianjun Chen, Mackenzie Kimberly Chow. Alexander Anthony Duboulet, Ryan Fitzgerald, Diana Joy Fontanilla. Elena Fornazzari, Martin Praziak, Christian Hall. Brooke Graham, Selena Faria, Audrey Ida Hamilton. Hassan Ibrahim El Hail, Michaela Alexandria James, Isabella Andra Jameson. Usha Ayub Kazi, Sarah Kelly, Waji Uddin Khalil. Sang Hoon Jason Kim, Brenda Kirby, Tiffany Josephine Nauts. Douglas James Lazier, Yujing Lee, Xuan Long. Calder Gillespie McLeod, Megan McPherson, Shaida Elisa Marguzzi. Julian Neal Matheson, Kyle McCusker, Jonathan Scott Milks. Andrew Mooney, Caitlin Moore, Taylor Morrow. Shauna Mukhtar, Stephanie Laureen Mumford, Matthew Evan Nair. Yifeng Ni, Olivia Novak, Mackenzie Kathleen Parcham.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a rather large degree group. Let's take the opportunity now to congratulate those candidates that have crossed the stage.
Cassandra Parker, Stephen Patton, Amanda Jean Pearson. Danielle Stevie Lynn Puccini, Brianna Rice, Rachel Alina Rogers. John Callum Ruddock, Arman Singh Sandhu, Harman Sandhu. Bronwyn Margaret Sars, Autumn Scott, Sarah Jessica Babcock Smith. Stephanie Steemack, Shannon Iris Stroh, Jonathan Tu. Clara A. Trudell, C.Y. Say, U.S.E. Wang. Mao Dong Wei, Andrew Douglas Westwood, Shun Hu Sheng. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Management and Organizational Studies. Naomi O. Abgomedaro, Rami Ahmed Jamalalil, John Evan Noah Bowman. Amanda Mary Brown, Maungji Cho, Graham Edward Cornell. Lucas Cuccini, Care Mackenzie Davis, Paul Dykes. Ruby Biru Lee, Ying Lin, Bao Yun Dong. Yuting Feng, Zeni Yu, James Michael Flint. Matthew Gauthier, Alexi Girgis, Matthew Jason Henry. Dongyi Huang, Courtney Nicole Jenner, John Andrew Johannesson. Matthew Kemp, Mustafa Mohammed Khattab, Rayan Karim Arif Kurji.
Ladies and gentlemen, each family really looks forward to hearing their graduate's name called. So if you could just curb your enthusiasm, I promise you we'll give you lots of chance to celebrate. Thank you.
Bill Kwan, Chu-Chi Lan, Thomas Legg. Tishana Tamara Lewis, Shu Yi Shirley Lee, Joshua Alexander Lowe. Aiden Brian Lobo, Dan Liu, Shiwan Ma. Aaron Shai Mansour, Michaela Matisse, Ian Nelson. Blake Nyberg, Justin Patel, Brianna Pronesti. Sharina Raskob, Andre Roybu, Carter Mitchell Sanders. Sheldon Sachin, Marcus Schwandner, Mitchell Skelly. Abhinav Shivam Shrivastava, Yulan Wang, Julia White. Madeline Whitaker, Julian Wirwa, Biondo Yoon. Tong Yu, Calvin Zer, Tianchu Zhao. San Sao. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts: Chiara Maria Adihati, Elizabeth Allen, Joseph Antonio. Nicolette Elizabeth Armitage, Michelle Bonofilio, Ji Kui. Alessia Swigala, Shu Wen Huang, Bethany Ann Idle.
Alexandre Gagné, Tyler Austin Gowan, Stephen John Huck. Michael Johnston, Netcherwan Kavian, Basma Khalid. Jasmine Krofchik, Ming Tat Lam, Derek Lung. Pamela Licata, Jeffrey James Linker, Jack Lovering. Sarah Ann Martin, Amber Roxanne Jamie Mattox, Sun Min Oh. Punit Paul, Linda Russell, Alyssa Terrien. Michael Terrien, Jacqueline Vikovich, Mingyue Wan. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the Diploma in Human Resources. Madhushri Deshpande. Sidra Awais Khan. Norin Kuram. Hejo Kim. John Joseph Mitchell. Yuhan Mu. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the Diploma in Not-for-Profit Management. Emily Laura Bunny. Erica Lynn Garrett. Mia Kulich. Samantha Cree Long. Megan Elizabeth Barbara Tennant. Mr. Chancellor, the following is a candidate for the Diploma in Public Relations. Nabai Emmanuel Teklab.
In the name of the Senate, I grant to the Registrar the authority to confer degrees, diplomas, and certificates to those candidates whose names appear in the official program but who are not present today. At this time, I invite Ms. Sandra Datters-Bear from our Alumni Association to say a few words.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, Dr. Dan, distinguished guests, family, friends, and my fellow graduates. It is a great honor and a pleasure on behalf of Western's Alumni Association to congratulate you and welcome you. You have worked hard to complete your studies and examinations, and today you received your well-earned degrees. Western, our faculties and affiliate university colleges are very proud of its world-class standing, and we know you share that pride as graduates of our undergraduate and graduate programs. Now, all of you join a growing global community of Western alumni. We are all united by the Western experience, our cherished memories of our times here, particularly the knowledge and the friendships we have gained. You'll find your Western experience continues as alumni, and I encourage you to remain active, purple, and proud by participating actively as alumni, cultivating a strength and the global reputation of our alma mater. It is also my pleasure today to invite you and your guests to attend a reception in your honor to be held in the University Community Center, Mustang Lounge, immediately following the Convocation service. There you'll receive your 2018 class pins. To you, your families, and friends, enjoy and embrace the tribute that you so richly deserve today, and remember, wherever life takes you, Western will always be your home. Congratulations.
Before closing convocation, I wish to express my appreciation to all who have contributed to the success of the day. In particular, and on your behalf as well, I want to thank the University of Western Ontario Convocation Brass for their magnificent performance and their director, Professor James Mackay. May I request that the audience remain at their seats while the academic procession leaves the hall. Convocation is now adjourned.